knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door.
As those of you who've watched my reviews for a while now, or have gone to check out my shiny new website, may have noticed, I'm something of a casual fan of anime. It probably grew out of my lifelong interest in animation. It also kind of explains why 3 out of the 7 reviews that I've done so far have been animated things. At any rate, I've had a fascination with moving drawings for quite a while now, which brings us to today's review. A film adaptation, although expansion might be a better word for it, of one of the most popular anime series of all time, and in this reviewer's not-so-humble opinion, one of the best. Get everybody and stuff together, because we're flying along with the crew of Cowboy Bebop the movie. In the year 2071, humanity's left Earth behind and spread out amongst the planets and moons of the solar system. Of course, with the spread of humanity comes the usual problem of crime. In an effort to combat this problem and find the criminals that have slipped past the long arm of the law, the various governments have turned to bounty hunters known as cowboys. Shortly before Halloween on Mars, terrorists have blown up a tanker truck on a busy highway, killing hundreds and causing hundreds more to develop a mysterious illness that doctors can't identify, let alone cure. Desperate, the government has issued a 300 million wulongs being the universal currency, bounty on the head of the unidentified terrorist responsible for the attack. This catches the attention of the crew of the Bebop, a motley bunch of perpetually broke bounty hunters. But the Bebop crew is bitten off more than they can chew with this case, which involves a shady pharmaceutical company, human experimentation, and a plot to kill an entire city. I'm going to try and keep the discussion focused on the actual movie, but parts of the series are going to pop up here and there. That said, this is a pretty good introduction to the series. It's got all the major elements that were part of some of the best episodes of the series. Good humor, solid action sequences, and phenomenal music. But let's start with the most interesting parts of the movie, and, by extension, the series, the main cast. First, there's Spike Spiegel, resident martial arts expert and ace pilot. A former mob enforcer, Spike is the snarky heart of the Bebop crew, and the main character of the series. Next is the owner of the Bebop and bonsai enthusiast, Jet Black. Jet is a former cop and is the team dad. He's also functionally the team mom. Then there's resident femme fatale and eye candy Faye Valentine. While Spike and Jet are actively trying to get away from their pasts, Faye is busy searching for hers, and in the meantime she catches bounties and loses all her money gambling. There's also team mascot / smartest member of the crew, the adorable Welsh corgi Ein. And last, but certainly not least, we have Ed.
Ed will introduce Ed. Full name, Edward Wong Hao Pepalu Tivruski IV. Ed made up that name for Ed. Isn't it cool?
Yeah, Ed's unique. In fact, it's safe to say that Ed is the closest that Cowboy Bebop ever gets to an actual alien. She's, and yes, that is a girl, a super genius hacker who tags along with the crew for the fun of it. Rounding out the main cast for the movie are Vincent Villaju, the main villain of the movie, and Electra, who I'll have a little more to say about later. Vincent is pretty well developed as a character. A former Special Forces soldier, he's on a mission to either kill himself or anyone he can get his hands on. The exact reason behind his plan isn't really spelled out clearly, which is a shame because the rest of the movie is actually very well written. The character interactions and dialogue are smartly written and have a lot of style. And before I go any further, I should mention music. Cowboy Bebop, as the name would imply, is heavily influenced by music, especially jazz and blues. And there's plenty of both of those styles in the movie, mixed in with some classic rock style pieces and a little bit of pop for good measure. Anime fans will know the name Yoko Kanno, who composed both the score for the film and the series, very well. And she does a fine job here with the score nicely reflecting what's going on in the plot. Tank, the opening for the series, and the Real Folk Blues, the series ender, are missing from the movie, but they've been replaced with the catchy Ask DNA for the opening and the moody Knock a Little Harder playing over the end credits. As for the ever-popular sub versus dub debate, in this case, it's dub all the way. Even people who hate anime dubs will agree that the Cowboy Bebop dub is one of the best dubs there is. All of the original cast is here and do their usual excellent jobs. Joining them are Darren Norris and Jennifer Hale as Vincent and Electra respectively. Both are good and stand up well alongside the regular cast. Even the background cast is filled with some exceptional talent like Kirk Thornton, Jameson Price, Mary Elizabeth McGlynn, Michelle Ruff, hell, even Crispin Freeman makes an appearance. I can't really comment on the Japanese version of the movie as I've never actually watched it. The dub is just that good. The animation is well done, as befits a Sunrise/Bones production. It's fluid, especially in the action sequences, and has a more realistic style than some other more prominent anime have. There are a few bits of CG here and there, but they don't really distract from the rest of the animation. Overall, the animation is smooth and nice to look at. Now then, the plot and pacing. I'll go into a little more detail about the plot in the next section, but the pacing of the movie overall is fairly good. There are some slower bits in the middle of things, but they don't really bother me and make some nice breathing room between the action scenes. But some people do find those slower parts grating. Now about that plot. The biggest problem with the plot is that Vincent's reasoning for what he does isn't explained very well. Oh, he's given plenty of motivation, but the reasons why he decided on this particular course of action are vague and very hard to understand. The best I can come up with is that he just wants to watch the world burn, so to speak. Which is a fair explanation, but it rings hollow given what we see of Vincent's character and how he thinks. The other big problem the movie has is Electra. We're given some of her backstory, but in that particular case, it's all about Vincent and how she relates to him. We're never told how she got involved with Vincent in the first place, or how she came to work for this shady pharmaceutical company after Vincent disappeared on Titan. She's just not very well developed overall, and that's too bad because on the surface at least, she's a pretty interesting character. Now, speaking of the shady pharmaceutical company, I get that they want to cover up their involvement in the making of bioweapons, but to first say that they're gonna sweep everything under the rug and then turn right around and make an antidote anyway? The hell? What the hell were they gonna do with an antidote for something that they were planning to destroy all evidence of anyway? Were they gonna keep it around just in case someone else tried to use the bioweapon and they spent the whole movie trying to get rid of? I don't get it! And another thing, if you remember back to the end of my Neon Genesis Evangelion review, you'll remember that I recommended Cowboy Bebop as a good gateway anime, and that recommendation still stands. And for the few rather large faults that the movie has, it's a pretty good introduction to the series. It gives you a nice introduction to the main cast and a taste for the general feel and tone of the show. And if you think Vincent's nihilism is scary, wait till you meet Vicious.
Who are you? Tell me.
Vicious.
Cowboy Bebop is another highly influential classic of anime, and for some very good reasons. Although I may be a bit biased here, Cowboy Bebop was the first anime that I watched that I knew was anime, and it had a big impact on me as an anime viewer. And I'm pretty sure that's true for a lot of other people as well. The DVD for the movie is easy to find on Amazon, and the special edition comes with quite a few special features, including cast interviews and music videos for the opening and ending songs. The only thing to be aware of is that the DVD defaults to the original Japanese audio, so if you want to watch the dub, you're going to have to change that and turn off the subtitles before you start the movie. As for the series itself, it was released by Bandai Entertainment before they went under, so the Bandai sets tend to be a little bit expensive when you find them. But Funimation grabbed the license and is releasing the series on Blu-ray in December. Either way, I can't recommend Cowboy Bebop enough. It's a great series with interesting characters, fantastic writing and direction, and some seriously awesome music. So go watch it already!
I think it's time to blow this scene. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
No, it's fine. Really, I don't mind. I'll be happy to upload everything for you, You just enjoy your holiday. Yes, just the things you gave me. Look, if idiot males who like their own testicles on fire can manage to upload something, I'm sure I can figure it out. Right. You just enjoy yourself, Doodle pip. Just the things you gave me.